Hey guys, Thogden here, and today I'm on the right side of the table because finally someone is coming back. It is Thogden!
Hey! I was in Croatia and then Montenegro. 102 runs in 4 innings.
Not nice having no football, but you're back. You're a mug. How do you feel, mug?
I feel great, and apparently Speed agrees with you about the Messi-Ronaldo thing.
Yeah, he finally does, and if he doesn't, boxing match. How many likes for the return of Thogdad?
Oh, it's got to be 20,000, hasn't it?
And today, it's a very interesting topic. We're picking one player who's played this season, who's the best and worst for each Premier League club, but they have to play.
Let's stop waffling. Let's get straight into Arsenal.
Okay, Arsenal. Who have you gone with?
Well, it's got to be Gabriel Jesus, hasn't it, Theo?
As the
the
worst?
best player. As
Oh.
the best player. He's got 4 goals. I
Yeah.
love the fact that he's settled so well. That is a brilliant signing.
Yeah, it's great. I've gone with Gabriel Jesus as well as the best player. But for worst, I've picked Lokonga.
Ooh.
And it's difficult because the whole Arsenal team has been incredible. They're top of the league. Mikel Arteta has got them playing some juicy football. But Lokonga's the one man which I'd say Arsenal fans are not fully confident on. And if he plays in the North London derby on the weekend, there may be some problems.
Wow, I'm going to be controversial and very cruel, Theo. Emil Smith-Rowe.
But he's not played.
He's not played much,
But
but
that's
he's
not- no, he's
played
not played
a
till he's been
little.
injured.
Theo. He's played a little and he's not imposed himself.
You've broken the first rule in the book. Been
He
injured.
has
He's just
played.
had surgery.
He has played.
You're a mug.
Aston Villa now, Theo, and the
Yeah.
best player. Well, nobody's really shone, but I've gone for Emi Martinez. He's played every game. He's saved a penalty. He's been all right, hasn't he? But the worst player, Philip Coutinho, Theo.
Ooh.
Now, we saw touches of him, glimpses of him in the last game, but overall, a real disappointment.
Yeah, I'm going to throw 2 new players out for you. Worst player, I've gone John McGinn. Because for a captain and their bad performances, some of them come down to him. He's not been good enough for the bar he sets himself. The best player, I've gone Kamara.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
think he's been really good in that midfield since he's come in from Marseille. Overall, Aston Villa, it's been a mediocre season. They're obviously looking to step forward.
We expect a lot more,
Yeah.
Theo. They've got some great resources there. Bournemouth, this is very easy, Theo.
Yeah.
It's a couple of goalkeepers. The best has been Neto. He's come in for 3 games. In the last game, he made some brilliant saves. And the worst has got to be Mark Travers. And it's a bit harsh, that. I know
Gone tactical there.
He's
2
conceded,
keepers.
yeah, he's conceded 4 goals a game. He's a young lad. I hope he bounces back.
I think the best player for Bournemouth so far this season has been Philip Billing, and especially after his last 2 goals in their last 2 games to pick up 4 points, which is really not that bad. But what has been bad is Smith. Not good enough. When you're facing Premier League wingers quality, you need fullbacks that have pace and can keep up to the same wavelength, and so far he hasn't. But maybe he'll improve.
Brentford now,
Yeah.
and the best player has got to be Ivan Toney, Theo. He's got 5 goals, and more importantly, he's looking in great shape. I think a lot of big clubs will be looking at him. In terms of worst player, I've gone for a 32-year-old journeyman called Zanka, who just not
Barely
cutting
played.
the mustard.
The worst player put for Brentford is Keane Lewis Potter, but it's cruel. It's not fair. I've just picked a player that doesn't get game time, and he's not had a breakthrough yet. The same as Zanka. He's had barely any minutes. But that is a statement to show that every single starter in that Brentford team is putting in a decent performance. I agree with you with my best player. It's got to be Ivan Toney, especially after the England call-up. I'd like to see him get a few more minutes, and I want to see him in Qatar.
Brighton and Hove Albion, the best player has got to be my favourite lad, Pascal Gross, Theo. We didn't think he'd still be at Brighton after all these years.
I know.
3 goals, 2 assists. He's impactful. He's all over the place. He's creative. And the worst player, I'm sorry about this, Adam Lallana. He was all right against Man United, but he's drifted away, hasn't he?
I can agree. Pascal Gross best player, Lallana worst. So we agree on Brighton fully. And how good has Pascal been? He's been in my fantasy Premier League team, smashing it up. Can they still play as a team going forward without Potter?
Oh, my goodness.
With De Zerbi, the Italian manager who was at Shakhtar and previously in the Italian league, he's done well at Sassuolo, but I'm not sure how he'll do in the Prem. I want to give him time. I want to give him a chance.
Big shout out to Alexis McAllister. He's also been a superb player.
He deserves a mention.
Chelsea not having the best of seasons, but one player who's season in, season out is excellent, Reece James.
Yes.
There, 1 goal, 1 assist.
Great pick.
And he just puts the work in, week out. But worst player, Christian Pulisic. And Theo, this is a guy who should play 90 minutes every game based upon his raw talent, but something has gone wrong at Chelsea.
He doesn't care anymore. They're also fed up with Ziyech, who's my worst player. He has not put in a good performance since that purple patch right when he signed. I'm not sold on him. I don't think he'll ever return to his best for Chelsea Football Club. They should sell him as soon as they possibly can. But for best player, let's put some respect on the name of Thiago Silva.
Yes.
It always seems to feel as if that back three at Chelsea rotates. It always feels as if they rotate that back three to different players. It's always Thiago Silva who's that central centre-back putting in a solid performance and consistency, and that's what they need right now.
Crystal Palace, and I've resisted the temptation to say Wilfred Zaha, because a player who's caught the eye week in, week out, Joachim Anderson, Theo. Ooh. He gets heavily involved. He wins his battle. He's the sort of player you want on your team sheet, but the worst player, and this is a bit harsh, I wanna be Edward, I wanna, etc., etc. I'm sorry,
song.
He's been
Great
bought.
song.
It's a superb song.
Yeah.
He was bought for his goals, and I think he's got 1 assist all season.
Do you want to hear a Thog Dad fact? You're not a mug, because I've also gone with Edward for the worst. But you are a mug for not saying Wilfred Zaha.
Yeah.
Special mention to Eze as well. Them linking up so well. I think they'll start to really shine in the next few games. As the games get easier for them, they'll pick up more points. But Zaha has been #1 best player.
Everton now, and the best player has got to be England's #1, Jordan Pickford, Theo, who was immense against Liverpool. He gets more than 4 saves every game. What a superb keeper. And the worst player, and this is a bit harsh because his game time has been limited. He used to play for Zenit, Solomon Rondon.
I've gone with McNeil. He's not been the signing, he's not scored the goals ever since that match he had pre-season. The #8, who's improved rapidly under Frankie. That is Alex Iwobi. You're screaming the name, Toffee fans behind the camera. He has been generational, and it's so good to see. He's involved in goals, he's attacking, he's got flair, he's got everything.
Fulham now, this is an easy one, isn't it? Alexander Mitrovic, 6 goals. We wonder whether he could do it at this level, and he has. But I've got to say, and this is very, very harsh, he's missed 5 big chances, so he's nowhere near the level of Harry Kane.
We've got to go with Palhinha, don't we? As best player.
Did you see the goal he got the other day?
How consistent he's been in that midfield for Fulham. It can't all come down to Mitrovic. Let's respect some more players. I'm pleased you picked Mitro.
Yes.
But I'm going with a Portuguese midfielder. Worst player, I've gone Cabano.
Oh.
And it's unfortunate. He's been out the team ever since Williams started to play more regularly. Probably cruel. Fulham fans might roast me, but who else are you picking that 11 then?
Fulham have been the surprise package of the season, but you named Reed, Theo. I've gone with Reed as my worst player.
Okay.
Bobby Reed. No,
Bobby
look,
Reed.
he's got a goal, he's got an assist. He's been all right, Theo, but amongst a really good bunch of players,
true.
I expected more, Theo. Leeds United Football Club, it's got to be Tyler Adams, Theo.
Yes.
He's the USA international. He's come in as the DM to replace Calvin Phillips, and he has been rock solid all season. But the other end of the scale, the worst player, I'm sorry, Diego Llorente, Spanish centre-back, Theo. I just think he's got worse as the season has progressed.
Thog Dad, you are the GOAT, because I've also picked Tyler Adams as best and Llorente as worst. And I hope it changes round for Diego. He also gets game time in the Spanish national team, and if he wants to get that call up to Qatar, he needs to improve for Leeds. It seems like the players that previously played under Jesse understand him as a manager, like him as a person, are instantly performing for Leeds at their new club.
DM is a very difficult position to play because if you're not good enough, you get exposed.
Yeah.
So he stepped into some very big shoes there, the shoes of Calvin Phillips. Leicester City, very hard to pick a best player, but Yuri Tielemans, Theo.
Tielemans.
Week in, week out, he's consistent. He's got a goal, he's got an assist. He's heavily involved in games. He doesn't hide.
I thought he was leaving.
I did too, and he would be a good purchase for another team, but my worst player, I'm sorry, Danny Ward, Theo.
Ward.
What, is he conceding about 4 goals a game?
No, it's not good enough. But you've missed a trick here. The best player at Leicester this season, by far, has been James Maddison.
Theo, he scored a superb goal in the last game week.
He scored several superb goals.
He's just scored 2
He
this
deserves
season.
an England call-up. And why do you think people are arguing his name to be in the England team? I want you to go back to Croatia. I don't want to film with you
Theo.
with these poor opinions.
Liverpool Football Club, and it has to be Luis Diaz, Theo. He's got 3 goals already, but he's got to be a little bit more consistent, hasn't he, Theo?
Yeah. I want to give a special mention to Bobby Firmino when he had 4 contributions in 1 game. Harvey Elliott has been shifting into that midfield. That might continue to gel, and I might put him as at least one of the best players in this pick. There are some real diamond in the roughs within this Liverpool team. You know, everyone's hating on them and shredding Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson and Virgil van Dijk.
Theo, I think Trent has been good this season. He's been good in a poor team. He's the best right back in the world. Okay, he's been
there's not
average this season.
People were saying that he shouldn't have been called up to the England squad for Qatar.
Nonsense.
I completely disagree with that. But to say he deserves to start every game after his recent performances, no, I don't think he does. Reece James does. Going Joe Gomez. But I do believe Trent can turn this round. He's had an international break to calm down, hopefully work on tactics with Jurgen Klopp. And let's see if Liverpool do it.
In terms of worst player, I'm sorry, 36 years old, James Milner. Manchester City, all I can say is that Kevin De Bruyne has been magnificent this season, the second best player in the league after Erling Haaland.
Wow.
11 goals.
So you've given the best players to 2 players, basically.
Well, no, I've got with Erling Haaland. 11 goals. He's scoring a goal every 52 minutes. He's lived up to the hype there. But the worst player, and this is very harsh, because he's been one of my favourite players for 6 years running, Riyad Mahrez, is very average this season.
Yeah, of course, I picked Haaland as the best player, the best player in the league. Mahrez is my worst player. Do we agree?
Yes, we agree.
I don't want to hate on Jack Grealish. I think he's going to turn it round. Hopefully.
Wait. Grealish. What? I think Grealish has been good this season.
Well, he doesn't, because he went in a press conference for England and said he's not lived up to his usual standard.
Manchester United, Theo. Bruno Fernandes is slowly getting back to his best form. 3 big chances created, a goal, an assist, playing with more confidence. But the worst player...
What's your worst player?
It's got to be Harry Maguire.
No! It's not Harry Maguire.
It's Harry Maguire. He played so badly, he was dropped, Theo.
I'm defending him still. He will turn it round.
I hope he does.
Smash it for England in Qatar, silence all the haters, and I will be the last man standing. Harry Maguire has got the whole football audience in the world hating on it. It's just not fair. I'm not going to join that. Worst player at Man United has been Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at his performances for Man United and Portugal. He shouldn't even be in the Portugal national team anymore.
This is Messi fanboy nonsense. Come on,
Ronaldo's been awful. I would much rather see Marcus Rashford be at number 9 in the Manchester derby than Cristiano Ronaldo. There's not a question in my mind. And I'm so glad Rashford's turned it round. And do you know what, Dad? Rashford's my best player. Have you gone Eriksen as best player?
No, I've not gone Eriksen.
Wow, one of us had to go Eriksen. He's probably actually been the best player.
Newcastle now. Let's get up to Tyneside. And it's got to be a man who used to be a meme, but he's now a crowd favourite. He turns up every week. Joe Linton, Theo.
I'm so glad to see him solidify his spot in their midfield. But for Newcastle, I've gone Alan St. Maximin.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I always, whenever I say his name, I think back to that technique for his goal at Wolves away. Murphy's the worst, though. Yeah. He's only come off the bench. It's a bit unfair.
Yes.
But overall, Newcastle have been good. The results haven't come. They've had a lot of draws, but with time, that will arrive. I'm a little bit upset with Nick Pope.
Yeah.
He plays really well for Newcastle, but disappointed with that Germany game.
Oh my goodness. Head in hands.
I would be, if I was him, I'd be gutted knowing that that's probably my last ever chance to show England. He's 30 years old. We've got great competition with Ramsdale and Pickford, who does really well for England.
I tell you what, Jordan Pickford was watching that. You know what he was thinking? That tastes like promotion! Hey! Nottingham Forest now, and I nearly went with nobody, but I went with Brennan Johnson, Theo. Not had a great season, the young Welsh lad.
Wait,
but he's got a couple of goals. Best.
Huh?
Theo, he's been the best of a bad bunch.
Neco Williams or Dean Henderson. I'd allow either of them picks.
The worst player, and I feel really cruel because he was very good to us once. Jesse Lingard. And it's all about expectation, Theo. No goals, no assists. I'm sorry, Jesse.
I hope he turns it round. I've gone with Worrell at the back.
Yeah.
There's a clear problem in that defence. I can't trust Cook. I can't trust Worrell. The problem with Worrell is I expected him to be all right on his performances last season. His interview in the playoff final was, it had me tearing up. It was so special. And he was so glad to see Steve Cooper smashing it. And now he's in a difficult position. I'd say keep the faith. Maybe too many signings. It's like what Fulham did when they got promoted, spent too much money. Very difficult to keep a massive dressing room positive because not everyone's going to play. But Dean Henderson is best player. Let's put respect on his name. So many penalty saves. It's unfortunate that we've got a lot of good English goalkeeper options because this would be his time to get called up.
Southampton, there's one man. He's got a goal. He's got an assist. He's consistently good. He's involved. He doesn't hide. James Ward-Prowse. And the worst player, El Yunusi.
For Ward-Prowse's usual level, you still put him up there as the best of the season?
Yes. Without him, they are in the bottom 3.
For me, of expectation to reality, I've got to go Bella Kotchap. He's a young German centre-back who's going to continue to improve. Him and Salisu getting stuck in together. Southampton are currently 14th in the table. I think they really are building something with the centre-back duo. Worst player, I've got to go Adam Armstrong. Che Adams is lucky he scored that brace earlier on the season because there isn't enough goals coming from forward position.
Tottenham Hotspur, and it's got to be Harry Kane, Theo. 6 goals, 1 assist, and he's only missed a couple of chances. He has been clinical.
No sign of Son.
No sign. He's turning up now. Oh my goodness, that hat-trick was superb. But the worst player, and this is a little bit harsh, but he's not turned up yet, Ryan Sessegnon, who I rate as a player, and he will come good.
I've gone Emerson. not been good enough.
Yeah.
The fullback, he just can't attack. He's been decent defensively, but it's the same as trying to watch him last season. Tottenham fans, they feel the pain and they understand that he's the worst.
West Ham United, the best player is Declan Rice because he is so damn consistent. He rarely has a bad game. And the worst player, I'm sorry, a lot of hype around Scamacca. He's not shown up.
What about Jarrod Bowen? I think he's been even worse. For the level he set himself last season to now, I don't even want to see him near the England squad for Qatar. He needs to find the motivation to kick on and start scoring goals again, because I know there's a player in him. But Declan Rice, best player, fact.
And finally, Wolverhampton Wanderers. It has to be that man, Ruben Neves. Theo, what a talented player he is. And the worst, Hwang Hee-chan. He's not turned up. He's not scored goals. Could have chosen Jimenez.
The best for me is 20k likes. The worst is 15k likes.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't want to get 15k. Thog Dad's back.
Yeah.
Let's absolutely smash it. Jokes aside, for Wolves, I've gone Ruben Neves for best because he's so good.
Yeah.
And for worst, Pedro Neto. You can't have a winger who's actually that good. I think he's a good footballer.
Yes.
But miss so much. He's in a forward position. He's not getting contributions. He's not doing his job. He is the worst. Thank you for coming back on the channel. It's been a pleasure. How do you feel?
I was always here in heart.
You're watching all the videos.
Oh, absolutely.
What was my speed video like? Give me a reaction.
Brilliant, Theo. Everyone go and watch it.
Hit the like. Let us know where you want us to go next. It's been a pleasure. See you in a bit.
I'm off to Lancaster to talk to my old school. See ya.
That doesn't taste like promotion to me.